This is the X-59, NASA's $632 million experimental aircraft. Lockheed Martin's Skunk Works built it to do something every other supersonic airplane on Earth has been banned from doing for the last 53 years. NASA pilot Nils Larsen is about to put it to the test. If this airplane works, the FAA tears up a regulation that has grounded supersonic flight over American soil for half a century. And a New York to LA flight in under 3 hours stops being science fiction. If it doesn't, NASA just spent $632 million proving the ban was right. Nobody on the ground at Plant 42 this morning knows which one they're about to watch. The brakes release. 15 tons of experimental aircraft starts rolling forward across the apron at Lockheed Martin's Skunk Works facility as the pilot watches the taxiway through a video monitor mounted exactly where the windshield would be on any other aircraft. The camera generating that picture sits bolted to the upper surface of the nose, 8 feet ahead of his face, pointed straight down the center line. What you see here is something called the External Vision System, which is NASA's polite way of describing what is essentially a television. 2 4K cameras feed a display inside the cockpit. The field of view runs 33 by 19 degrees. Collins Aerospace built the hardware, and NASA tested the system for years on a King Air at Langley before it ever got bolted onto a real airplane. Larsen has been flying it in a simulator since 2018. The team that built it spent that same period of time eliminating every millisecond of lag they could find between the camera shutter and the monitor refresh. Because at landing speed, even a fraction of a second of delay is the difference between greasing it on and cratering it on the runway. The number they were chasing is under 20 milliseconds end to end. 20 milliseconds is roughly the time it takes the human eye to register that a light is turned on. A live sports broadcast runs at 5 times that delay, and nobody watching it at home can tell. A pilot rounding out a flare at 200 miles an hour can. 20 milliseconds is the line between watching the world and watching a recording of the world. The X-59 does have side windows, by the way. 2 of them, contoured to the airframe, offering a partial view down each side of the nose. They're useful for situational awareness on the ground. They're not useful for landing an aircraft at 200 miles per hour. The screen is. Every pilot in the program has asked the obvious question. What happens if the screen fails mid-flight? The honest answer is that nobody wants to find out, which is why NASA engineered the XVS with the redundancy most fighter cockpits don't approach. Backup cameras, backup processors, a separate display feed. He's trained for partial XVS failure in the simulator dozens of times. He'd rather not find out for real. What Larsen doesn't know yet, sitting on the apron at Plant 42, is that the screen in front of him is the least controversial part of the airplane he's about to fly. But here's the part most people don't immediately understand about the XVS. It isn't a walk-around. It's not NASA's clever solution to a design problem. It's actually the entire point of the design. Because the reason there's no windshield is sitting right out in front of the cockpit.